Building with new bricks means understanding the time in which we live, knowing how to apply our own system of values to that time. It means building with bricks that can withstand the winds of that era, its storms. It means knowing how to act with new methods, knowing how to jump over the many swamps that lie along the way, especially in Italy, where the best intentions are often held back by blocked mechanisms, cumbersome processes, vested interests, and ideological preconceptions. Finally, after 3.5 years in which Russia showed no sign of dialogue and demanded Kiev's capitulation, there are now glimmers of hope for negotiations. Bureaucracy will not get us out of the storm. Politics can do that. Regulations will not make us stronger. Ideas can do that. Blind ideologies will not liberate our societies. Reference values applied to the reality we live in can do that.
Addressing the Rimini Meeting 2025, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni delivered a sweeping, passionate speech calling on Italy and Europe to build with new bricks for an era threatened by nothingness, division, and bureaucratic paralysis. Embracing the edition's T.S. Eliot theme, Meloni warned against a consumer society stripped of roots and meaning, and challenged the nation to revisit foundational values, Greek, Roman, and Christian, while boldly modernizing social and economic policy.
And our house, to which we must add new bricks, is the West. Not, as I said several times, a physical place, but a system of values born from the encounter between Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Christian humanism, a synthesis that has fertilized the ground where the separation between state and church has grown, where men are born equal and free, where life is sacred and holy and care for the most fragile is an absolute value. This is who we are. And this is what has allowed our civilization to progress over the centuries and be a model to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, the West still has much to say and give, but we need awareness and humility. We need to know how to question ourselves. We need respect for ourselves, which is an essential condition for respecting others. And Italy is doing its part to show the way. We have brought new bricks to Africa, creating a model of cooperation that does not want to have a paternalistic and predatory approach, not at all, building instead partnerships based on mutual respect, trust, and sharing. In other words, on the ability to look each other in the eye as peers, as equals, finding together the areas where we can make a difference and have mutual benefits. Because unlike other players, we have no ulterior motives. We are not interested in exploiting the African continent for its rich raw materials, using them to increase our own well-being. We want instead Africa to prosper alongside us by processing its resources, cultivating, growing its fields, providing jobs and prospects for its best and brightest, and being able to count on stable governments and dynamic societies.
Meloni highlighted Italy's transformation from the sick man of Europe to a model of stability and international credibility, earning the trust of markets and EU leaders. She voiced strong support for just peace in Ukraine and championed robust and credible security guarantees based on the Italian proposed NATO-inspired model, while admitting the path is anything but easy.
Now, we must strongly believe in this opportunity for dialogue towards a just peace, however complicated it may be, and contribute our ideas and proposals. Italy has always maintained that the key to any peace process is the establishment of robust and credible security guarantees for Ukraine, capable of preventing new wars and aggressions. This is the starting point, the unspoken prerequisite established in Washington at a recent meeting between Americans, Europeans, and Ukrainians. And speaking of new bricks, the Italian proposal, based on a mechanism inspired by Article 5 of NATO, is currently the main one on the table. A possible contribution to peace provided by our nation of which we should all be proud.
Domestically, she stressed pragmatic action over empty ideology, tackling migration, reforming welfare, expanding opportunities for families and workers, defending parenthood, and investing in education and innovation. Meloni's message for Europe: bureaucracy alone will not save us. Only politics, vision, and courage can. Calling for self-awareness, a recovery of identity, and a Europe that does less but does it better, she urged citizens to share in the work of building a West that is both deeply rooted and bravely future-focused.
Building with new bricks in Europe means starting afresh with politics. I agree on this. That means vision, passion, conflict, and synthesis, participation and democracy. It means reducing overwhelming bureaucracy and supporting the competitiveness of business to combat the decline in manufacturing. It means putting people and not ideology back at the center of nature and investing in our own supply chains to reduce strategic dependencies that we have. That means addressing the demographic problem, because otherwise, in a few decades, ladies and gentlemen, there will be no European civilization left to defend. That means, as I said, building our own security model integrated into the Western system of values and defense. In short, it means outlining a Europe of pragmatism and realism, going beyond the somewhat stale debate between more Europe and less Europe, because the real challenge is a Europe that does less but does it better, that does not stifle and suffocate nation-states but respects their role and specificities, that does not erase identities but enhances them into a virtuous and greater synthesis. United in diversity is the motto of the European Union, and we should all truly be inspired by that motto, because the new bricks are also a new way of experiencing ancient cultural, spiritual, and religious identities. I do not trust those who are ashamed of their identity, but at the same time, I do not trust those who are unwilling to experience it in a new way. Eliot said that tradition must always be reinvented. Being conservative does not mean building with old bricks, but always looking for new bricks to continue building a house that you did not start. It means loving the lifeblood of a history that others have started and wanting that history to bear ever more abundant fruit thanks to your contribution.